What do high school kids, special education, and fishing all have in common? You're going to find out tonight on Mark Fisher Outdoors.
Welcome back to Mark Fisher Outdoors. I'm Megan Fuller.
And I'm Mark Fisher.
So Mark, you're in a pretty unique situation where you own a school and you're a professional fisherman. And somehow you have been able to actually bring the two together and create a mutually beneficial relationship for both these students at your school and your fellow fishermen. Can you explain that to me a little bit?
Well, and to be honest, before I get to your point, I've been doing that since I started the school. One of the biggest things that I wanted to do in working with special education high school students was involve them in the outdoors. And so when we first started the school, we built an outdoor education component as part of the school curriculum. Mm-hmm. Every summer, we take our high school kids on 9 different trips. We do teams courses, high ropes courses, take them water skiing and fishing. We take them rock climbing and rappelling, horseback riding.
So you do a lot of stuff with them outside?
A lot of outdoor activities. Okay. And getting these kids in the outdoors brings an entirely new element to their education.
That's great. So recently you've had the opportunity to incorporate an additional layer into this program and actually bring fishing and techniques into the school. How have you been able to do that?
Right. Well, we've always had a vocational training component as part of the school, the outdoor ed component and the vocational training component as part of the school. But it's always been a real weak component. It's been very difficult to get jobs brought into the school for students to do during that training program. But
well, let's be honest, they're high school kids and they have some behavioral issues, right?
Exactly.
So they might not be the very first group people want to go to
hire.
Right.
Right. And so what we've done is partnered with Core Tackle, which is a new tackle company that has just been up and running for just about a year now.
Okay.
And Core Tackle sends us their products, and our students in school package the Core Tackle products. So they're putting hooks in bags with the little advertising cards in the bags, and we do thousands of those. If anybody has ever purchased a Core Tackle product, that product started at the Learning House with high school special ed kids packaging those hooks into those packages and then shipping them out to you.
So they do this instead of taking math or
no,
science, because they would. I bet they love that.
That would be great. Not instead of, but as an incentive to. Well, part of the day is spent doing that job as part of their vocational training, but that kind of gives them a tease, a taste of, oh, I'm making some money. And so now, if they want to make more money, they can work during our choice periods, during after school time. We even have students who are coming in on Saturday mornings to do core tackling work overtime to do more of that work. Money is a huge incentive, and we can't pay kids to go to school, but I'll tell you what, I have a ton of students who tell their friends, oh, I get paid to go to school. They don't really get paid to go to school. They get paid while they're in school in the vocational training program. And it's a huge incentive for them to come to school. I'm coming to school to go work in Core Tackle, but yes, like you said, I still got to do my math and English, because if a student doesn't get those things done, then they don't go to work.
Yeah, I would much rather do that during the day since you're at school anyway than to have to go to an outside job after school, and that's amazing. So they do get paid.
They do get paid, and you know, when you talked about going to an outside job, in our situation, they're being supervised by teachers who they have a relationship with and who know their special needs, and they're being trained so that when they do things that aren't appropriate in a job situation, we're able to call them out on it, be able to correct those behaviors and train them so that they don't make those mistakes when they do get a job in, a situation where it's out in the community.
So is there anything more you want to talk about with Core Tackle?
We think that it's a great partnership. I've explained how it benefits our students. It's also a great benefit to Core Tackle. You asked if they get paid. Yes, they get paid, and they get paid a fair price, but it's definitely a price that would undercut if you had to get a lot of adults doing that job that were getting benefits and vacation time and healthcare and everything else. So we're able to provide that at a comparatively cheaper price, and so Core Tackle is able to keep their prices down and sell these at a reasonable price as well.
This program sounds very positive, but do you think that some people could see it as negative? Like, you're having underage kids working, and you're potentially taking jobs away from adults who could really need that extra money that's packaging materials and sending things out.
Well, I don't think that there's those negatives. You could look at that, but first of all, the students who are in our vocational training program are there by choice. No student is forced to work. It's not a child labor camp or anything like that. It really is it is a class. It is a high school training class. And the reality is Core Tackle is growing and becoming a very profitable and great tackle company, but it's still in its infancy. So when I talk about the quantities of lures Core Tackle is not a Berkeley. They're not making millions upon millions of baits. They're still in the thousands. So it's not the kind of thing where there would be a lot of adult jobs. So we aren't really taking that away.
Well, when I was in high school, the only thing that they taught us or trained us on was how to knit scarves. So that sounds like it's a much more productive program than what I had in high school.
It's very real, and I will tell you that the students have a huge amount of self-esteem from the fact that they can go on Tackle Warehouse, for example, and see the products that they put together for sale on the Tackle Warehouse website and know that they did that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
It really is cool.
Mark, you've talked about a few of the benefits, like better attendance and motivation for finishing up classwork. Are there any other benefits that you've been seeing recently?
Yeah, one of the other things that is kind of neat is the way the vocational training program is designed. The students actually run this as their own small business. And so when they price the job, they're getting a paycheck, but there is a profit that goes into the student account, which they have treasurers that are responsible for taking in the money, paying the employees, and then there is a profit that goes into the student account, not the school budget, but their own checking account that they maintain. And so when they meet in their student government meetings, they call them community planning, but when they meet in their meetings, the students as a whole can make decisions like, oh, we want to go on a social field trip and we want to go, to go paintballing, or we want to go to do a trampoline park or something like that. And they use the proceeds, the profits from the jobs that they do to pay for those things. So it gives them a group motivation as well, because they now are aware of how much is in their bank account, their group bank account, and they know and they have to decide as a community how they're going to spend those funds. So it really gives them an education into public funds and making decisions about how to spend public funds. And I will tell you, folks, that the generation that's coming up is very fiscally responsible. We just had a community, yeah, we need that. We just had a community planning meeting the other day where they're planning a paintball trip, and one of the staff brought up the fact that they have so much money in their student account that they could make that paintball trip completely free to themselves and just pay for the cost of going paintballing out of their student accounts. And they absolutely refuse to do that, saying, "Oh no, each individual student needs to pay. We don't want to deplete our funds." They're saving money. They're budgeting their money, making sure they don't lose or spend all of the money in there. We could take a lesson from that.
We could. But on the flip side, wouldn't you say that oftentimes at-risk youth also come from lower economic standing? And so this is developing a sense of autonomy for them of, hey, I don't have to go to my parents who are strapped for money anyway and ask for money to go paintballing or go on these trips. I now can pay for it by myself based on what I've made.
And they've earned it. They know that they worked to get those dollars that are going to go towards that paintball trip or that new pair of gym shoes that they buy, or even in some cases, money that goes to help the family to, survive and to keep, put food on the table and things like that. Yeah. And again, like I said, there are kids who work overtime on Saturdays, want to be able to get, more money from that. I think it's an amazing thing for me to walk in on a Saturday morning and see students who maybe 6 months ago had very poor attendance rates and are now coming to school 5 days a week and then choosing to come on Saturday to spend a Saturday morning with their teachers and their peers and just sitting around the table, putting core tackle pieces together while we have some soundtrack from some movie playing or something like that. And we bring donuts and they sit and they eat and they socialize and they make core tackle. And it's just a very positive, healthy environment. And quite honestly, I know when those kids are showing up at 8:00 in the morning on Saturday, I know they weren't out real late on Friday doing something they shouldn't have been doing because they had to be at work at 8:00. There are countless numbers of positive things that come out of this relationship with Core Tackle, and we are very appreciative of that relationship.
Well, what a wonderful program and what a wonderful school.
We're happy to be doing it. I've been doing it for 33 years, and I think, like I said, I think Core Tackle is happy with the relationship that they have with us. We're very happy with the relationship with Core Tackle. And I think it's important for the anglers out there to know that when you purchase Core Tackle products, you are supporting the Learning House, and that's a very positive thing. And I've gotten feedback from other anglers saying, you know what, knowing that I'm purchasing Core Tackle products and that I'm not only getting a good quality product and a very unique bait, but also helping at-risk kids. That makes you feel good all the way around. Folks, we hope this was informative, and we appreciate you sticking around, and we will be back again tomorrow with another episode.
All right. Have a good night.